Hello, this is Nicole with Angelic Therapy and Healing, bringing you a general reading for the week of Monday, May 8th through Sunday, May 14th. Welcome everyone to the channel. For those of you that are new, we're glad to have you here. Hopefully you will find something today that will help you with your journey. For everyone that's returned, thank you. Thank you for your subscriptions and your comments. I do love hearing from all of you. Now, for those of you that have asked, I've still not opened my schedule for new appointments. I am booked a month out with current clients at this time, but stay tuned because as soon as I open that up, I will announce it here, and this is where you guys will find out, so you can move forward at that point in scheduling your private readings or healing sessions. So let's take a look here first. Big thing we have occurring this week, we actually have a full moon on Wednesday, and that's May 10th. It's going to be around 5:40 in the evening Eastern Standard Time. Depending upon where you are, just go to Google, compare your time. Eastern Standard Time is the same time as New York. So see what time it is in New York, see how that compares to you, and that will let you know what time it will be in your time zone. Now, this is what's referred to as the Scorpio flower moon, and it's going to be really intense because if any of you know Scorpios, we're really intense. Scorpios, they rule sexual organs, they rule the reproductive system, birth, death. They're very deep, very mysterious. They are the zodiacs. They're actually the detectives of the zodiac. So they're all about truth, getting to the bottom of things. And what you're going to find with this full moon is that you are going to be pushed to dig deep. You're really going to have to dig deep and release all those things that aren't serving you. That's like death, letting things go. Because in order to make space for the new things to come in, for transformation, in order to move forward, you've got to let things go. So that's really going to come up. So, you know, use this time to look at everything, no matter how ugly it is, no matter how uncomfortable it is, no matter how sad it makes you. And for some, you know, we have things in our lives that make us sad, depressed, ashamed. Whatever it is, look at it. See it for what it is. And then address it, heal it, let it go. Release it, because this is the perfect time to do this. And it's also a perfect time to release any addictions you have. Could be alcohol, drugs, any addiction, codependent tendencies that you have. This is a time to release that. And you're also going to find that for some of you, you'll find that things are going to be exposed this week. Like some truths. And for some, it's going to be some ugly truths will be exposed. And be prepared for that. But the good flip side of that is, because again, Scorpios, they're all about truth. They really want to know. They really want to get to the bottom of things. But Scorpios also don't care. So when ugliness is exposed, they're actually more respectful and thankful that the truth has been exposed. They just want the truth revealed so that it can be released and that you can move on. You can start over. You can begin again. You can begin fresh, begin new. But that truth has to be exposed first. So for any of you that are worried because you might have some things come out of your closet, and some of you are going to have some things come out of your closet, or you're going to discover some things this week, and it's going to be sudden for most, it's actually a good thing. Because the truth, these things need to be exposed no matter how ugly they are in order to heal, start over fresh and new. And for some, you're also going to find that you need to be flexible, because there's an aspect this full moon that's going to be coming in from Gemini where it's trying to get us to open our minds, think differently, be open to something new, something that's out of our norm, because many of us are having to think differently, do things differently, behave differently in order to get something better than what we currently have. But in order to do that, we have to be flexible, because a lot of times we'll become rigid. We're stuck in a mindset of, okay, I have to be with that person, or I have to be with this type of person, or I have to have a certain type of life or lifestyle or a certain type of job. And when things shift, because we're going through spiritual awakening, trying to be opened up to those things, maybe trying to be opened up to our emotions, things shift. And we have a hard time. What they're saying is that there's a number of people out there that have been having a hard time, because going through the spiritual awakening, having to connect with emotions, having to face the dark, deep secrets in the closet, not liking that, fighting that, it's making life harder. But if you can embrace that and you can be flexible for the new you, the new things emerging, the changes, Try something different. Be open and receptive to that. You'll find that it's going to bring you blessings. It's going to bring better things to you. And it will also help reduce the stress and the struggle. Because for some, holding on so tightly to person, things, situations, behaviors, that you're blocking good things from coming in. So with blocking it, you're noticing there's just a lot of struggles around a lot of things in life, but this is the time to just let that go. Dig deep, see the truth, face the truth. For some of you, if you have to share the truth, do that. Deal with it. Release those habits, release those addictions. If you need to, and you're one of those, get in touch with your emotions. Because Scorpios, they're very intense. So for a lot of you, you're going to have emotions coming up this week. But be open to those. Get in touch with those. Listen to those. And anything that's trying to leave your life, trying to fall away, just let it go. Let it fall away. It's not good for you anyhow. And by doing that, if you have the power and you have the courage to do that this week on this full moon, you're going to find that that is going to clear the path for you so that you can transform, you can finish, you can culminate the healings that you've been doing, you can move forward, taking control of your life and really getting those things that you've been praying for, asking for, hoping for a very long time. Now, one last piece that's going to extend two pieces, okay. That's going to extend beyond the full moon. Energetically, on May 9th, we've got a couple big things happening. We have the nodes changing in Leo and Aquarius, and this is something that only happens like every 18 years. And what you're going to find is if you look back in your life as to what was going on in 98, 99, something that you were trying to do, trying to start, trying to make happen, for many of you, it's been a struggle off and on for 18 years. They're trying to get you to step into your strength, because what you're going to find is that this is a time that is going to end. Those struggles, the trying to fight, the trying to make those things happen, that cycle, that thing that you're working on, it's going to end now. And for some of you, you've known that. It's been an ending that's actually been in the works for a number of years for some of you, but this is the final ending of it. Now, you may not find that you wake up on May 9th and it's over, but within the immediate future, likely this month, you will finally have the completion of that. That will finally be over. But the nice thing about that is, you know, if you've been holding on to a job or a person since 98, and it's just, it's been a struggle, an uphill battle, you're finally going to be done with that. And that's what's destined and meant for a number of you. Now, the other thing is there's going to be this galactic shift occurring. Now, back in 2012, there was a galactic shift trying to open us up to these things that we're destined for, these things that will bring us blessings and joy and everything that we've been wanting. But between that, but they didn't come to fruition. So for some of you, maybe you met a new romantic partner, maybe you started a new career, a new venture, a new practice. Maybe you started to head in maybe some of you were thinking about moving, but you started this. And it just didn't happen. It's because this time that we've had since 2012 was a time for us to heal, for us to let go, for us to release, for us to really just go through the crud of having to transform, welcome in better things that are aligned and meant for us, that will bring us joy. But we've had some intense times since 2012. Well, that galactic shift is back. So those things that you started in 2012 that are meant for you are now actually going to start to move forward. They're going to culminate. They're going to come into fruition. They're going to move forward. And it was interesting. I was listening, and there's a number of different astrologists that you can listen to, but I was listening to the Leo King, and he compares it to the world, and he was talking about all the different planets, and I can't explain all the different planets. I'm not an astrologist. But essentially, this galactic shift is, if you were to look at a traditional tarot card, it's the world card. And the world card talks about blessings and fortunate things happening, you know, having all your heart's desires coming true, but also being protected. See how she's protecting this bubble? But the thing is, you have all four corners of the world, all four signs. So you have this lion, which represents the Leo. You have the bull representing Taurus, the cherub up here, Aquarius, and then over here, it's actually an eagle, but it's representing Scorpio. It's a little more positive than a scorpion. But Scorpios are known to rise from the ashes. They're like phoenixes, eagles, very powerful. But this galactic galactic shift, this portal, this opening to make our dreams come true is also happening May 9th, bringing all four corners of the world, you know, all four elements, but it's just bringing the world together for you. So for many of you, if you can think back, what is it you started in 2012? Was it a relationship? Was it a job? Was it a career? That's going to move forward now. And that actually is something that's a blessing. It is the world for you. It is the key to your happiness. It is the key to your joy. It is going to bring blessings and fortunate things to your life. And for some of you, it's still very scary, they're saying. Because for some of you, it's a relationship. A relationship started, didn't come off the grounds because both of you had to do some spiritual healing and work. And you're, you know, at this point now that they're going to start, okay, it's time. They're going to start pushing you forward, but you're going to kind of be afraid of that. But just remember that you're protected. You're protected by the divine, and purple is the color of divine. You'll often see like Jesus in purple, but that's divine protection. So don't be afraid. It's going to be intense, so be prepared for this full moon that we're going to have on Wednesday. Be prepared for the nodes changing, this galactic shift on the 9th. But May is going to be intense, but May is the beginning of bringing all these things that you've been praying for, asking for years. And for those of you that have had to let things and friends and family fall away, and you've had to heal things, and you just have had your life flipped upside down, you're going to start to reap those rewards for doing that. So I wish you all the best. It's good. It's a good thing. Great things are coming about. So you've earned it, because most of you've been through a lot. You've had to change a lot. So your rewards are now coming. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So what we're going to be doing this week, we have 3 situations. When I was shuffling the cards, it was funny, I was shuffling and I had these 3 cards that the top pop out. They just fell out of the deck. And I was like, okay, so that's our 3 situations, because they told me we were going to be doing 3 situations. And they said, no, that's situation 1. I'm like, really? And so then I just kept shuffling and laid those out. And obviously they had 2 more fall out for situation 3. So we are going with it. Now, for any of you that are curious in the decks that we are using today, I have Doreen Virtue's Archangel Michael Tarot deck, and I have Colette Baron Reed's Wisdom of the Oracle, Sandra Ann Taylor's Energy Oracle cards. I am going to pull an Angel Answer card for each situation at the end. I will remember this week. I think there was a week I said I was going to pull that one and I didn't. But everything happens for a reason. They apparently didn't want any to be pulled. Okay, looks like you guys can see those. Let's see. I have prayed over my Sabilas in case we need those for any clarifiers along the way. I've also prayed over and shuffled the Angel Answer cards for if and when we are ready for those. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so situation 1, and what we're looking at this week, we're looking at the situation, and then this is something you need to know or something you're unaware of, and then the last row is something that they recommend you do. And situation 1, we have 3 different cards. Let's pick these up real quick. The first one, you have this broken heart, and this really does speak about, you know, broken heart, loss, grief, sadness, you know, having your heart broken open. See how dark it is. Dark, empty. But a number of you are going through healing right now. They're saying for some of you, okay, so you had a relationship fall apart. You had this love. And it fell apart and your heart's broken. And you have been going through a lot of healing. But this Wednesday at the full moon, for some of you, something that helps us heal is, you know, especially if that person just up and disappeared and, you know, we don't have closure. We often need some form of closure in order to be, you know, moving forward and letting that go. So for some of you, it would benefit you to use this full moon and write a letter to the person. You know, maybe your relationship ended, your marriage ended, but write them a letter. But, you know, put your feelings down on paper. And then when you're done, right, ask that God these angels ask that they come in and that they help you release those feelings and release that person so you can forgive and move on. And it's also forgiving yourself too. And that's going to help you reclaim your power. That's going to help with your healing process, because a number of you, they are congratulating you on doing healing, but a number of you are still doing healing, because we have the 4th chakra, which is Archangel Raphael. And Archangel Raphael, he does heart healing, and that's your 4th chakra is your heart chakra. And this card is a card that talks about, you know, love, compassion, accepting ourselves, loving ourselves. And a lot of you you've been going through a lot of heart healing, and a number of you, there's still a little bit of healing that you have to do. Because for some of you, you're stuck. You're not moving forward. And for some, it's because of not letting this person go. And for others, it's because of not healing the things with that person. And by healing with that person, it's healing it with yourself, not to have a conversation with that person, but to heal it with yourself, to release it with yourself. So call on Archangel Raphael. Ask him to help you with the healing. If you're feeling guided, use that full moon trick, write a letter. Another thing you can do on the full moon that helps with healing is write a list of all the emotions that you want to let go. So maybe frustration, disappointment, anger, sadness, whatever it is that you have. Same thing, pray, ask that they, you know, God, the angels help you release that, and then burn it on the full moon. And keep in mind after the full moon. So you don't want to wake up Wednesday morning if you're Eastern Standard Time. You need to wait until the moon is full, and then you can do it within 24 hours of the moon being full. So anytime after 5:45 Eastern Standard. Now the last card we have is appreciation. And you see here she's holding this rose. And this is all about, you know, gratitude, appreciating someone, appreciating the things that they do, appreciating life, finding gratitude in things. And you see here she's got this like bramble bush in front of her. And she's facing that. And then she's got this beautiful bush over here that's blooming. It has flowers. It's illuminated. It's got light shining upon it. But she's got her back turned on it. And she's holding her white tissue. Okay. For those of you that are curious, I know you're going to ask me, what were they saying? They're saying this white tissue is going to come up later in the reading. But there's some significance to that. So she's holding her white tissue, something she's been using for her tears because of her broken heart. And actually, if you look at this broken heart, there is a teardrop at the bottom of it. So this is a true love. This is a deep love. Her heart's been broken. It's not worked out. She's still facing back toward him, toward that loss, with hope. But they're trying, for those of you in this situation, they're trying to get you to turn around, because good things are coming, blessings are coming. But you have to let this go. You have to let this heartbreak go. You have to let this person go. And for some, letting go process is also looking at the blessings that you receive from it, the things that you learned from it. That you learned to love yourself. You learned, for some of you, to stand up for yourself. You learned to set boundaries. Because in everything, no matter how bad it seems, there's always some blessing that comes out of it. Always. You know, sometimes people, okay, I've known people that had a car accident, and they're like, oh my gosh, this was horrible. You know, our car's totaled. Not realizing that it actually kept them from having so it kept them from having like an axle fall off in a later accident. So the car had a lot of issues with it. And had they not had that accident, but because it's an older car that, you know, messed up their engine, and, you know, they don't have, the car's worth, you know, $500 and it's going to cost them $6,000 to fix it, it then is totaled. But they and their kids are safe. The whole family walks away without any problems. But here they're upset because their car's totaled, they have to get a new car, not realizing that underneath the car, the axle, the things that hold the car together, had they continued to have that car for another 3-4 months, they would have had an accident where they would have had head-on accident with a semi, and it would have killed the family. So there's always blessings. There's always things that come out of, it doesn't have to be that extreme, but there's always some blessing that will come out of something. So for those of you in this situation, they're really trying to help you heal your heart so you can turn around, you can appreciate the things in life, you can be ready for the blessings that are about to come in for you. And they're trying to get you out of a state of sadness and tears and heartache. Now, as far as the thing you need to know or what you're not aware of, you have 38, which is to be fair. And you see this figure, she's got scales there. This is really talking about balance. And there's all types of hearts down here at the bottom. But it talks about balance, considering our options, things that are mutually beneficial. Because in all things in life, we have to have some form of balance. Particularly when it comes to relationships. You know, if you are giving all the time and you are not receiving, it's not a balanced relationship. And ultimately what will happen is it will cause resentment. And it can be balance of, you know, giving for that other person, communicating, caring for that person, showing love, showing emotions, in all aspects. But it has to be balanced. Because they're trying, those of you that had this relationship fall apart, it was not balanced. It wasn't. And if you would take a step back and look at it, it's not the relationship that you would want. Because you want a relationship that's mutually beneficial, where both are giving, where both are opening up, where both are caring, where both are contributing. You don't want something that's one-sided. And for many of you, it wasn't fair to you. So they're trying to have you step back into your power. You see, she's a queen. She's got this crown. She's got this royal gown on here, which almost looks like a wedding gown. So maybe for those of you that are unaware of it, by stepping into your power, by finishing the healing of your heart, by looking forward, moving forward, rising above and looking at the situation from a place of wisdom. You know, see there's an owl on top of her head. To actually rise above the situation, be wise like an owl. Look at the situation for truly what it was. Not for what you hoped it would be, not for what you would think it would be. And for those of you that are in twin, so for those of you that are in very divine relationships, it could be soulmate, but particularly when it comes to twins, twin flames, or twin souls, there's a lot of intuition, particularly on the feminine side. The feminine will open up earlier. And you may have a lot of information and signs, and you may have been given images of how things were going to work out. But it didn't work out like that. So they're trying to get you out of a state of sadness and loss and sorrow, and they're trying to get you in a state of being wise and rising above it, seeing it for what it physically is. What is it physically? Here on earth, what is it right now? If he or she, you guys can change it. During this reading, feel free to change the sexes at any point. Feel free. But if you feel, and I'm going to stick with he because there's women in both cards and that's what they're saying. So if he chose to go be with someone else, or go be with a bunch of other people, or just pull away and leave, there's reasons that are out of control, out of our control, out of your control. But it wasn't in balance when he was there. So it had to fall apart so that there could be heart healing. You have to heal your heart. You have to step into your power. You have to love yourself. You have to rise above it. See what it truly is. And really stepping into your power. Particularly when it comes to a twin dynamic, they're bringing this up. And I know I've gotten a lot of questions from divine feminine and twin flame, twin soul connections, unions, asking about, you know, how do I let go? It's so hard to let go. And it is very hard when you have a connection with someone that's strong, that you feel them, you hear their thoughts, you sometimes will just get images of them, where they're at, what's going on. and knowing where things are destined, should be going as you have seen it and been told, and then to not have that happening, but to have that connection, which is very intense and very strong. But the thing is, staying stuck in this sadness, this heartache, things won't move forward with your twin, and they're not going to move forward in any other area of your life. Energetically, you are keeping yourself stuck in all areas of life by holding on to them with a death grip. So if you're still in a state of sadness and depression, and if you're looking at it and you are not doing what you're here to do, because if you're a twin, particularly if you're a twin flame, you are here to do some spiritual work. That's what you're here for. You are a light worker. You are here to help humanity. You're here to serve humanity. So is your twin. They'll get there when they're meant to. But that is what you are here to do. And it is time for you to step in and start doing that on your own at this point. Don't worry about him or her. Don't worry about them. Do what you are here to do. You're not here to be sad and depressed and heartbroken about someone not being there with you. And especially if you're a twin. They're not separate from you anyhow, because you're one. You are one. You are each other's other half. You're always going to be together and connected. But for many of you, they're saying you are so stuck in this state of sadness, sorrow, that you're not seeing the good things that are coming forward for you. And you have energetically stuck yourself in all areas. So if you are not fully moving forward on your own, doing what you're here to do, your life purpose, your mission, not doing things with joy, and it also could be, even smaller things, maybe, or big things. Maybe some of you are being guided to move, but you've been stuck and sad of, oh, well, someday when he comes back and this works out, then I won't be living here anymore. Don't let that be a factor in your decision making. You make your decisions for you. You are being divinely guided and led. You're giving away your power. And you shouldn't be giving your power away to anyone, not even a soulmate or a twin flame. You have to take back your power. If you're being guided to move, move. If you're being guided to start your own business, if you are being guided to change careers, you need to do that and not have that on hold. And for some, maybe you're being guided to start going on dates, going out with other people. Now that's a small number, because there is karma that comes with that you will have to, especially if you're a twin, particularly a twin flame, you will have to clear that at some point. But if you're being guided to do it, go with it. Whatever you're being guided to do, because we all have free will. And you can't control what someone else is doing. All you can do is take a look at it for what is it right now. Not saying give up, not saying to continue to stay, especially if you're a twin flame. Stay in a state of love, compassion, hope and faith, but you just got to let go. If God's going to make that work, just let go and trust God to make that work and focus on you. Start working out. Start having fun. Start going out with your friends. Start that new business. Start that new spiritual practice. Change careers. Move somewhere that maybe is sunny and warm and by the ocean. Do what you're being guided to do. Let this sadness and heartbreak go. Because also energetically, for those of you that are twins, what this does, and you can research online, there are a lot of teachers and such, but energetically, if you are clinging to them that tightly, and they are your other half, you're clinging to them because you're fearful it's not going to work out. You're fearful that they're going to abandon you. Energetically, you have them in like this death grip, this vice. Well, that's going to energetically send them the other way. But at the core, you're doing that because you don't love yourself. You don't think you are enough. And you need to remember you are enough. You're a queen. You are a queen. You are of royalty. Own your power and step back into your royalty. Know that you deserve someone who is going to give to you as much as you're going to give to them. If you look back at it and you're constantly going above and beyond for this person to show them that you love them, you care for them, to show that this is unconditional love, baby, this is as good as it gets, and they weren't reciprocating with you, you deserve better. It doesn't matter who that person is, soulmate, twin flame, it doesn't matter. You deserve better treatment. You need to remember that. you will remember that when you are loving yourself and when you are coming from a place of unconditional love for yourself, you won't be stuck in this state of sadness. And the great thing about that is that opens other blessings up in your life. Because for many of you, it's affecting your health, it's affecting your money, it's affecting your work, those of you that have kids, it's affecting your relationship with your kids, with your family. It's time to remove that heavy cloud that's looming over your head. Step in your power. Start doing you. Have faith, have hope that God will bring it together if and when that's meant to happen. But don't put your life on hold for that any longer. You have to fully surrender and move forward. Because when you can do that and you can love yourself and move forward with faith, with confidence, with knowing how truly royal and powerful you are, that's when you're going to have blessings come in. That's when it's also going to shift things energetically for those of you that are in a divine relationship, particularly a twin relationship. That's when it's also going to shift the energy between the two of you. For those of you that are stuck in this state of having a death grip and sadness, the energy is not going to shift. And for those of you that have gotten out of the state, congratulations. You probably haven't maybe still noticed a shift, because what has to happen is once you've come into the state of loving yourself unconditionally, then your twin has to do his healing and releasing and come into loving himself unconditionally. So you don't just give up and be like, okay, well, I've been doing my divine mission by myself for a year now, and he's still not here. When's he going to come? When's he going to come? Well, that's just looping you back into this clinging energy. Don't get looped back into that clinging energy. Just continue focusing on what you're here to do with faith, joy, optimism, and moving forward. And for some of you, that will lead into you wearing a wedding gown, having that dream of yours come true. Now, as far as what to do, recommendations, I will type up the prayers that are on the bottom afterward. It says, use your imagination and you'll see the answer. And at the bottom it says, Dear God, thank you for granting me the wisdom and creativity to see your miracles in new and unexpected ways. I gratefully and gracefully accept and appreciate your help. And then you describe the situation. So, now as far as using your imagination, there's a couple things that they're talking about with that. So for some of you, you've got to start doing some visualization, because you're in a state of fear and dread that, oh my gosh, this dream of mine of coming together with him is not going to happen. Or for those of you that it's not a divine relationship and it's just somebody that broke your heart that you're meant to let go of, that's not going to come back together, to come from a state of positivity and optimism of, okay, I am going to meet the love of a lifetime. I am going to find someone who cares for me equally, that it's a mutually beneficial, mutually rewarding relationship. I am going to find the love of a lifetime. I am going to get married. I am going to have that family. I'm going to have these things that I desire. You have to shift the way that you're looking at things. Start looking at it from a positive light. Start doing some visualizations. Do a visualization board. Let go of those beliefs and those fears that it's not going to happen, woe is me. Have faith. Know that it is going to happen. Know that God, the angels, Jesus, they have your back. Let them have your back. Let them carry the load. That stuff's heavy anyhow. Drop that stuff. Drop it. And move forward. But know that they've heard you. Know that they're helping you. Be positive. Be optimistic. And expect miracles. You have to expect miracles, because for those of you that this is divine connection, that's what it's going to take. And it's not a miracle you're going to pull off, but it's a miracle God will pull off. And God will pull it off when you can let go and trust and not worry about it. In order to let go, let God, we can't turn around the next day and stay in a state of sadness and fear and depression like, oh, it's never going to happen, it's never going to happen. Essentially what we're doing is it's telling God, I don't think you can pull it off. And I don't know about you, but that's not what I would want to be telling God. I want to say, I'm letting go of this heartache and these tears because this is no fun. I'm stepping into my power. And God, you take care of that. In the meantime, I'm going to work on Operation Hot Body. I'm going to focus on me. I'm going to do my work and my mission. I'm here. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to enjoy life. And you take care of the rest. So, you're being encouraged to do that. You have a lot of support to do that now. And then with all the planetary stuff that we've got, you're definitely set up for success. So just let go of your fear. Let go of your fear. Because you can't fly if you're weighted down by fear. They're trying to help you fly. Help them help you. Speaking of flying, oh, we have an angel with wings. So for those of you in situation 2, oh, okay. So this card's 9, 38, 15, add that together, 62. Let me get my angel answer book. So they wanted me to add these up real quick and read. I'm going to read from my Doreen Virtue Angel Answer book. Okay, 62. So it says, keep believing that the details of your life are working out in miraculous ways. Your faith opens the door for miracles. That's awesome. Well, weren't they just saying, prepare yourself for miracles. Expect miracles. Let go so they can bring you some miracles. Okay, now we can go on to situation 2. Okay, card 39 is the 5th chakra. And the 5th chakra is the throat chakra. It is, it controls communications, speaking up, speaking for ourselves, self-expression, speaking the truth, sharing, communicating, and also sharing the truth with ourselves. You see, he's got this horn here. So this Archangel Gabriel is trying to help some of you acknowledge your power to communicate. Some of you with yourself, you aren't communicating the truth with yourself. And some of you, it's communicating the truth with others. You need to open up to some truthful communication. So for some of you, you know, you're stuck with a situation or person, maybe somebody that hurt you in the past. And you're not communicating the truth with yourself about this situation, about what it truly is. Some of you are having trouble communicating your emotions. Same thing with yourself, some of you with other people. Some of you are also not standing up for yourselves. It's like for some of you, you need to have a difficult conversation with someone and put your foot down, say, no, I'm done, I'm not putting up with this anymore. Some of you, that's going to start with having that conversation, communication with yourself first. See, there's a horn here. So for some of you, there's something with a situation with a person. For a number of you, it's tied to a person. Where they're trying to divinely guide you. For some of you, out of a situation. For some of you, into a new situation. And it's a divine calling. They're trying to call you to do that. But in order for you to move forward and answer that call, for some of you, you're going to have to communicate the truth with yourself. Some of you are going to have to communicate the truth with that person that you're having to let go of. Let them go. You're going to have to do some heart healing. And for some of you that you're being divinely guided to a love interest, for many of you, this has to do with relationships and love. I'd like to make it about something else, but they're saying love. But whether it's a love, person, or situation, you're being divinely guided to start something new, start a new venture, start a new relationship. But that also is going to hinge off of you communicating. They're saying for some of you, it's communicating some dark things that you've not wanted to share and communicate. For others, it's communicating, sharing your emotions, how you really feel in your heart. Because some of you have been standing firmly rooted and you've not opened up emotionally out of a fear of weakness. It's almost like a fear of not wanting to, fear of sharing the darkness. But it's all entirely hinged on communication. Those of you that are in this situation, you're going to know that it's you because you're stuck, most of you in love. Some of you could be career. Maybe you're stuck, you're being guided to change careers, but you're afraid to have this conversation with your supervisor to say, okay, here's my, resignation letter. I'm moving on. But it is totally hinged around communications. And some there have been communication problems because the card that you have is, something you need to know or something you're unaware of is peace. And this is a card that talks about freedom from being attached, freedom of being attached to a person, a situation, radical acceptance of something. It also talks about harmony, and that harmony is beautiful. It's a good thing. Like, when it comes to relationships, you've got hearts all over here. When a relationship is harmonious and people are actually in alignment with each other in all areas, there's a harmony between them. And it's kind of like if you've got two instruments and they're different, but they're in sync, they're in alignment with each other, they will play together perfectly. It'll be beautiful. They'll make beautiful music. And it's impossible to tell the instruments apart that's creating this music. So doves represent, you've got a dove above an egg. Doves represent purity, hope, faith. It's extending what appears to be almost like an olive branch. And eggs are creation, new beginnings. There's a star. So for some of you, you had something fall apart. Some of you, it was a romantic relationship. It fell apart because something went awry with communications. Either there were arguments, disagreements. Some of you, there was no communication. But if you can extend that olive branch and you can move forward and you can communicate, it will create a new beginning. And they're saying, those of you that you are being divinely guided. So a number of you, all of you in this situation, whether it's a person, place, whatever, you have been guided. You've been getting a lot of intuition, a lot of signs, a lot of information. So for some of you, it's still to close a chapter that you've been trying to leave, which will give you peace as well as them and enable you to move forward with the person that you're meant to be with or situation you're meant to be in. But some of you, they're saying that you had a love situation that fell apart, something tied to innocence. You did something wrong, you hid something, or they hid something. Something was hidden, but it's time to extend that olive branch, communicate. But trust what you're getting, because I know it's going to be confusing for some of you, because you're going to be like, well, I don't know if I'm the person leaving or coming. But you need to listen to the guidance that you're getting. Because those of you that are in this situation, you've actually been getting a lot of signs and synchronicities. Like obnoxious signs and synchronicities, can't be ignored. So trust that. The card that you have for recommendations or things to do is your inner guidance is real and trustworthy. And at the bottom there's a prayer. Please help me clearly hear, see, feel, and know the divine guidance that I have asked and prayed for. Allow me to keep my ego out of the way so your wisdom can come streaming through me for my own benefit and for those around me. So, those of you in this situation, there's a lot of confusion. Because it's like you're teetering. For some of you, it's like a seesaw, like you're teetering back and forth. But you've been given a lot of information. You've been given a lot of aha signs, synchronicities. You've had a lot of truth come to the surface. For some of you, you're going to have more truth coming to the surface, or you're going to need to reveal the truth. But you've been stuck and you have not been moving forward with clearing the air out of fear. Some of you are fearful that you're going to make a wrong decision. Some of you are fearful because of how things ended. But they're trying to get you to listen to those signs and synchronicities so that you can move forward. Okay. Now, last one that we've got. Okay. So we have two cards actually fell out with this one. We have Strategy and Goddess of the Moon. Now, Strategy, this is all about, making and devising a plan. You've got the feather there to actually write your plan, devise it, get things down. Put together small steps, your action steps, what you're going to be doing to move forward. You've got these coins, you've got a compass, you've got a key. Okay, the key is listening to your intuition and making a plan. Because your next card that you have is the Goddess of the Moon. And if you look here, this is all about intuition. This is all about going inward, listening to our intuition, listening to our emotions, opening up to our emotions, opening up to that intuition, opening up to that information that we're getting. Now, for some, they're saying you're being divinely guided, but you're just not trusting it because you're fearful. But you have to trust it because they're saying the key, there's this little key up in the corner, if you guys can, I can't even tell. You can see there's a key right there. You see how it's all sparkly and stars and it's beautiful there. The key to you moving forward is listening to that intuition, opening up to your intuition, opening up to your emotions. Opening up, they're saying. Devising a plan and moving forward with it. Taking those steps forward. Because that's the key that's going to set you free, but you're afraid to do that. They were mentioning earlier about how this full moon is a good time to be flexible, not do things the way that we always have. Because to move forward, and for a number of you, this is also love. You've got a bunch of, not all the cards from this deck have hearts sprinkled in them, but it's funny because all three of these have hearts. So for most of you, these are all love related. But regardless of the situation, you lack the courage, you lack the faith, because you're not taking a leap of faith. This is the card, it's number 36, and it says, come to the edge, right down here. And this is a card that really does talk about having courage, taking a leap of faith, overcoming our fears and our worries and our doubts and those things that keep us stuck. And accepting risk. You see that she's on the ledge here. But for her to dive off that ledge, she has to have complete faith accepting all risks, but complete faith that she's going to be caught, that she won't fall to her complete and utter demise. But that's a lot of fear to have to overcome. Because a lot of you are having a hard time facing the unknown, facing the uncertainty of it. So for some of you, it's a love relationship. They're trying to get you to trust that this is the person they're guiding you towards for you to be with. You've been stuck, immobilized with fear. That person is your key to unlocking everything that you've desired. But you have to put together a strategy, and you have to take a leap of faith. You have to trust. You see, she's standing clear up on this edge, fearlessly. Ready to take that leap, take that dive, swan dive into the unknown. Because it's fearful that, okay, what if this doesn't work out? I've been given all these signs, but what if it really doesn't work out? What if it's a complete flop and failure, like my past relationship or my past marriage? So because you're fearful that it's going to work out like it has in the past, you're going to be hurt like you were in the past, you're going to be deceived, lied to, cheated on, all the ugly stuff that you've had to experience with a past lover. Because you're so terrified that, okay, it seems like it's going to be good, it seems like it's a blessing, but I'm still not sure, and I'm still worried. So I'm going to stay stuck here. I'm not going to move forward. I'm not going to take that leap of faith. I'm not going to trust that this is what God's leading me to. Let me just open up to it. I'm not going to open up emotionally. I'm going to stay stuck instead. For many of you, you're stuck. And it's a similar thing to people that were in situation one. It's affecting all other areas of your life. You're keeping yourself stuck everywhere else. Now I'm going to read the book. Let me... Okay. 36. Let me get this real quick. Facing the unknown is the only choice you really have right now if you want progress. It's okay to be afraid. Now is the time to take a risk that is not calculated, to feel the exhilaration. Flip this. Okay. As you're ready to pull yourself for a leap of faith. Spirit is present, so let go of fear. You are called to express your true self. Listen to your heart and soul, not your head. Listen to that intuition, that knowing, those emotions. Come to the edge and discover that you can fly. You must step into the unfamiliar so that you may find your miracles. It's scary to be truly intimate with someone, to allow him or her to see all of you, especially the parts that you've kept hidden and protected. Now is the time to take that risk and let yourself be seen, truly seen. It's important that you speak up, voice what you need, state who you are, say what you hope for. This is not the time to play it safe, but to take a leap of faith. You will be glad you did. If you're seeking a relationship, the same applies. Take one step toward God, and He will deliver what you truly desire. So, what you're aware of, taking that leap of faith is going to bring your dreams to fruition. But you do have to honor and trust what you're getting. At the bottom it says, "Thank you, Archangel Michael, for supporting, guiding, and protecting me as I listen to and act upon my feelings. Help me understand and express my emotions with love." So you really be encouraged to go inward, listen to those things. And a lot of you don't even have to spend a lot of time reflecting and meditating because you've been getting so many signs and synchronicities for a while. You just need to trust what you're getting. You just need to know that it's accurate. It's on point. You're not going to be misguided. And also by honoring and trusting those. So some feelings and things that we have might be uncomfortable to face. But you have to face them. So for some of you, you may actually need to take some time this week and sit down and really write things down. You know, what are you feeling? Why are you feeling this? You know, what do you want to do from here? What is your next step? If there was no fear, what would you like? And let yourself honestly answer those questions. Respect what you're getting. Honor what you're getting. Because a lot of you have been getting a lot of inner knowings, a lot of inner push, a lot of intuitive nudges, even a lot of physical synchronistic signs, but you've ignored them. You thought, oh, that's just a weird coincidence, or oh, that's just, that can't be true, and I don't believe that. But you're not listening to it. You're not opening up. And a lot of it's because you're fearful of having to open up emotionally. You're fearful of having to share your emotions. You're fearful things are going to turn out poorly again. But why not take the risk? Because many of you that are in this situation, you're not happy with life. And it's affecting not just your love life, but it's affecting all areas of your life. Not happy at work, not happy with friends, family. Some of you, you're trying to put on a happy face when you go out with friends and family. And some of you, maybe you're even, you know, if this is love related, maybe you're even dating other people and you're putting on a fake happy face. You're giving a false image to everyone that everything's fine and dandy and you're oh so happy, but you're lying. You're lying to yourself, you're lying to them. Because at night when you're home, you're sad. You're in a state of depression. For some, you're dealing with it with alcohol, you're drinking, or substances. Because you're not wanting to face those feelings, face those emotions. You're not wanting to have to actually put together action steps, open up, move forward fearlessly. But that's what you have to do. That's the key. That's the key. Now, 21 and 52 is 73. You guys get one more number. How lucky are you today? Let's see here. So 73. The Ascended Masters are guiding you and you are listening to them accurately. Stay on your present path as it is illuminated with blessings and gifts. So, okay. So real quick, before we pull your angel answer cards, let's do some clarifiers. Okay, we'll start with getting some clarification on this situation. 1. Okay, so you have the present, the stanza, and the sopiri. Let's see if I can hold all these up together. So you have a precious gift, it's unselfish. You have the room, and then you have, you know, the sopiri that's talking about, you know, longings, memories, nostalgia, regret, sadness. So for some of you, this was a relationship that was a gift. It was really, truly a blessing. But it ended ugly. See, everything's all beat up in that room. Curtains upturned, pictures twisted. And there's no one there. She's left now by herself. She's reminiscing on that, longing for that. Which is what they were saying. Okay, so this is for the Be Fair. We've got the reunion. Let's see if you guys can see that with no glare. And then we have the La Costanza. Maybe if I can get it up. But this is, you know, perseverance, consistency, firm, firmly rooted, firmly grounded, reliable. And then you have the friend, the confidant, a relationship of trust. Okay. So for many of you, this was a relationship you thought was a gift, you thought was a blessing, but it fell apart. There were bad communications, no communications, but stuff just got messed up. All got messed up, fell apart, and now you're by yourself. But even though things fell apart, you've still firmly stood there, still firmly grounded. They're now trying to get you to shift and move forward. See how our eyes are looking forward? And they're saying for a number of you, this was a relationship that could be trusted. Because the Lamika, she's someone that can be trusted. You can have faith. So even though it was a relationship that could be trusted, the feelings and things that you were having that, okay, this person's meant to be, this is going to turn out great. A destined thing, things turned out differently. But even that's destined because that's trying to get you to step in your power. See how she's got a crown on? They're trying to get you to step into your power. And for some of you, you will need some help from friends or some assistance if there's still some healing work that you're working on. So ask that they help you with that. And we'll get something on the 5th chakra. Okay, La Donna di Severzio, Il Nemico, and Domestico. Okay, so this card is Maid, the Helper. That white cloth. Where was that they were talking about earlier? Right there. Okay. We're now finally knowing what they were talking about with that. Okay. And then we have the Enemy. And this is a card that talks about resentment, concealed. You know, he's like a thief. He's walking away in the middle of the night. And then we have the Domestico. And this is a servant, a helper, collaborator. Very similar to the La Donna di Severzio. Okay. Okay. So for those of you in situation 2, it was a relationship with someone that was built on trust. You see how they're both helpers. They're both servants, maids, but they're both helpers. So for some of you, this is a relationship where you're both caring. You are very helpful to those in your community. For some of you, you're light workers. You're here to help people, guide them. But this is a relationship with two people that are looked at by their family members, their community, to be of service of assistance. The people that they go to when they need help. But they were in a relationship together. But in the middle of the night, he left. You see how he's holding a serpent here? It's like he snuck away. So for some, there was this relationship and he snuck away in the middle of the night with no communications. For some, he snuck away to be with someone else. You know, serpents typically, you know, snake serpents, they typically they typically represent dark things. When I do deep possessions, if a person's possessed by something, it's typically a reptilian looking thing, a serpent looking thing. It may have scales, it usually has scales, but it's something dark. So for some, he went running to another woman. He was cheating. It could have been multiple women. Maybe he was very promiscuous. He was lying about that. He was keeping that in the dark. For some, he took off, and for most, it was because of another woman, another person. For some, he took off because he had dark secrets. But just taking off in the middle of the night, sneaking away. But now he's realized that they're meant to be together. They're the same. Their clothes even match. And for some, she's innocent. See how she's got the hanky? So for some, she's got the hanky, she's been crying with it. But she's also innocent. So for some, they're saying he took off because of something he thought she did, but that's a very small number. Okay, so peace. Try and get this wrapped up. How long have we been going? Oh my gosh, over an hour. Okay, let's get you guys wrapped up. Okay, so peace. We have Dispirce, Lamante, Denari. So the first card, this is all about worry, sadness, trouble, sorrow. It's either that she's crying. Then we have the male lover doing a little serenade, but no one's there. He's all by himself. And then you have the Denari. And this is all about money, inheritance, things that are of value. Things that you gain. Investments. Okay. So for those of you in situation 2, what you need to know. You've come to a place. Okay, so you guys can flip the sexes, but it's a man and they're talking about. So for many of you, you're male. You snuck away in the middle of the night from someone that you are equal with. You're the same. They're your other half. They're your person you're meant to be with. They're your perfect complement. But because of things that you were hiding, lying, cheating, some you were even hiding like addictions, you snuck away. Or for many, without even any communication, you broke her heart. The person who is your other half. And now that you're realizing that, it still hasn't come together. But it is a relationship. Okay, so for some of you, they're saying it is a relationship of great value, which is why you need to move forward and extend the olive branch. Have hope, have faith that this is meant to be, and communicate. Because it is of great value. And for others, they're saying there's a small number of you that you have not moved forward. Although you're thinking, okay, I love her. I realize I jacked up. I really screwed things up pretty bad. And I really want to make things right now. I want to share my thoughts, share my love, open up. But I'm afraid to do that. I'm afraid to invest. For some, I'm afraid that, okay, she's going to say, hell no. But because of all the things that have transpired. But for some, there's also a fear of financial. There's something about finances that you're afraid to share. So like for some of you, like an ex or an ex-spouse has like drained you financially. And you're afraid to share that. So you're not communicating your feelings with the person that you're meant to, because you're afraid, oh gosh, when they find out that when I snuck away to go be with an ex-spouse and they've taken all my money and I'm dirt poor now. And since the ex-spouse maybe was using you for money and that's the only reason they kept you around, you're thinking, okay, well, she's definitely going to want me to have money and I don't, so I'm just going to sit here by my lonesome. But that's not the case. And for someone that's worries about being able to take care, provide, that's not anything to worry about either, they're saying, because you'll be taken care of financially. But for most, the money concern is about being taken again because of being used for money in the past. But they're saying for those of you in that situation, this person's completely opposite of the person you were with in the past. So they're trying to get you to extend that olive branch. Okay. And last, situation 3. Okay. So, messagere, conversations. Okay. So, what we have is happiness of the heart. Then we have messages, and this typically talks about messages coming from a distance. And then we have conversations, and this is, you know, speaking of conversations that go well. It's friendly dialogue. You don't have stuff all thrown up and upturned like you do here. It's positive conversations. So for some of you, there's situation 3. You need to open up to the intuition, open up to your emotions, your feelings. You need to devise a plan. Because this person is the key to your happiness, the key to the happiness of your heart. So for some of you, your strategy, your plan that you're going to be devising, because this is all about action steps, putting together action steps and taking those action steps, taking that leap of faith. So for some of you, to find happiness of the heart, to find the love that you desire, your strategy is going to have to be 2 forms of communication. So for some of you, okay, for everyone that's in this situation, it ended badly. It ended with heartbreak. We've got these white tissues that they keep bringing up. We've got this white tissue here, here, here. Oh, we had somewhere else too. Oh, yeah, and here. So all these different ones, we have her crying and all this heartbreak. So it ended badly. So for those of you, your strategy is you're going to have to open up the communication channels. And for many of you, you don't live by each other. You're not close. So it's going to have to start with the communication. So for some, you might send them an email. No, they're saying horn. Okay, so they're pointing out this horn. So for you may have to give them a call and say, okay, I hope you're doing well. Miss you. I was wondering, can we go out to dinner? Because you're going to have to meet in person to open up and communicate, sharing the truth. Because the moon helps us see the truth in things. The moon illuminates things. So you're being encouraged to take those action steps. And it is going to take, because they are saying for most of you, it's going to take 2 steps. You're going to, this person is the key to your happiness. You're going to have to start that communication channel by calling them, asking them out, actually going to meet them in person to have that conversation. And ask Archangel Michael to help you have that conversation, because they're saying many of you are very, very fearful of how the conversation is going to go. So you're not even mustering up the courage to have it, but ask him to help you have that. And last one, come to the edge. Okay, so we have the Pensiero. If you guys can see that. This is a card that talks about, you know, reflection, thinking about things, thought, contemplation. Then we have the L'Animica. This is the female enemy. Lies, trickery, deceit. And then we have the Giovine Fanciulla. And this is the card. If you guys can see that, that speaks of, you know, young girl, attraction to a younger woman, a young woman. So, you know, there could be a big age difference between the 2 of you. Okay, they're saying for some of you there is an age difference. So it's not like a, saying it's not like a 6, it's not like a very small 6 or 12-month age gap, but it's a bigger age gap. You could be 8, 12 years difference. She's younger. That's interesting. Some of you are trying to decide between 2 women. And some of you are going to have communications with both. You're going to have to let the enemy, the one that's been lying, go. And you're going to have to reconcile with the younger one, with the woman that you're meant to be with. Okay. So there's a couple different things. So they're saying for some of you, okay, they're saying a few different things. Now they're going really fast. Okay. So for some of you, this is a three-party situation. And you've been getting a lot of intuitive information. But making this decision and taking actions and taking that leap of faith is what's the key to the happiness in your heart. But you are going to have to decide. So for some of you, you're going to have two conversations. You're going to have a conversation with this person who has hurt you. And if you look up close, she has this knife and a mask. So for those of you in this situation, you know who this person is because she lies. She's had hidden intent. She has not watched out for your best interest. And for some of you, has not watched out for your best interest in years. Some of you, they're saying she cuts below the belt. Very cruel with words. But you have to let her go. And for some, that is going to require, because for some of you, you've not wanted to even deal with it. So for some of you, you've just clammed up, closed up, haven't done anything. But they're both at a distance. So for those of you that still have to let go, you're going to have to reach out to the one that you have to let go. And you're going to have that conversation to finally say this is over for good, done. So you can close that chapter and be able to move forward. And then you're going to have to do the reaching out to have the conversation with her because you've not been honest with her. They're pointing out the blue in her dress. There's not been any communications. And for some of you, she's moved on. Because she's totally facing the future and he's stuck in the past. and she's stuck on herself. She's just staring directly out forward. So for those of you in this situation, you'll know the person because the person that you're supposed to be letting go of is very self-serving, very selfish, very self-absorbed. And writing on paper, at a surface, they seem great. But they're not. Because their heart is filled with ill intent. Which is interesting. If you look here, she's got her hand above her heart. So you're trying to choose between two people. You have one that's coming from a place of unconditional love. Her heart is open. She's pure, she's genuine, she's honest and forthright. It is something that would have a firm foundation. And the other person you've had with a faulty foundation. They've been cruel, hurtful, deceitful, lied for a very long time. And they have a knife low, almost like they're just going to jab you in your junk. But it's not from a place of warmth. It's not from a place of love. And she's even cloaked in a cape. Like everything that she has been kept hidden. And for others of you, they're saying, congratulations, because you have let that person go. You have. And that's what you were meant to do. What you were destined to do. If you look at the strategy card, it's a lot of symbols of destiny, divine intervention. So they're congratulating you because you did let her go. That's what you were meant to do. Did take you a very long time, but you've finally done that. But you're contemplating moving forward with the one that you're meant to be with, but you have a fear of what if she's like my ex? Because, you know, I felt really drawn to my ex. Ooh, I felt like she was the one. It was hot and steamy. It was rolling fast. I wanted to jump in, all in, get married, move forward, have fun, start doing everything together. And then I ended up getting hurt really badly. Emotionally, financially. And I'm fearful. She seems like a dream come true. There's roses. seems like it would be perfect, but fearful that what if it's not? But you have to trust and take that leap of faith, because they've been guiding you to that. And they're saying for those of you in this situation, you will know, because this person's always done something for you to show you that they love and care, and that they've not come from a self-serving place. One more. Oh, okay. That's funny. The Bambino. This child represents birth, or even a new beginning. And they were telling me to pull it for that card. So if you can put together your strategy, open yourself up, have this conversation, finally close the chapter on that, have faith that this is not going to turn out like that did. Take that leap of faith. You will fly. You will have success. You will have love. You will have all those things that you desire. And for some of you, you will have the new beginning that can be counted on, they're saying. You just need to face each other. And for some of you, she is going to give you a son or a child. You'll have a family together. So hopefully that helps. Oh, yes, real quick before we go. So I've already prayed over and shuffled the angel answer cards. We'll pull one for each situation. So go ahead and think of your questions. If there's something that this reading did not already answer for you, think of a question. We will one at a time pull these cards. I have already prayed over them, shuffled them. So let's see what you guys have. So if you are situation 1, think of a question. Ready? Okay. You have helpful people. Put that up close for you. Okay. Situation 2. Have your questions ready? Okay. You have no. And I'm actually going to read that because there's 2 no's in this deck. And this is a very firm no of the 2, because I think the other one doesn't even have a period, and that's an exclamation point. So let me get this book real quick. Okay, so no. The response to your inquiry is a firm no. You needn't worry though, as you will see why this was the perfect answer as time goes by. Okay. So interesting though. Because that answer doesn't really line up with what they were saying, but who knows, maybe you, I don't know what questions you guys were asking, so you know, that's your answer. Okay, situation 3. You ready? And you have within the next few weeks. Let me hold that up close for you. Hopefully you can see the graphics. Okay, so there you have it. I do wish you all an amazing week filled with a lot of love, joy, and blessings. Remember, it is going to be an intense week. Embrace it. Dive right into that transformation. And then see some beautiful things start to result out of your diving in. For some of you, it's going to be as soon as the end of the month. For some of you, it will start to manifest in June. But that's only if you can dive in, only if you can use this time. And remember, you've got so much support this week, as it is, because for some of you, it's going to be very emotionally intense, because you do have to open up emotionally. You do have to let things go. You're going to have to feel things that are really ugly and dark to heal it. Some of you are going to have to hear some things that are really dark to heal it, move on. But embrace that. Embrace it. And as you need help during all these steps, because it's going to be a lot this week, and for some it may continue for another week or 2, ask for help. Ask God, ask the angels to help you. And don't give up. And have faith. They're going to get you through this beautiful time of transformation. It's going to be so worth it. So worth it. So instead of looking, because what tends to happen is when we go through very intense times of transformation, like this week, this is going to be a very intense week. It can get us down, and it can get us stuck in a state of thinking, okay, these things I've been praying for and longing for so long are never going to come to fruition. Maybe you've wanted to get married, maybe you've wanted to start your own business, and you've just been trying so long and hard, and it just doesn't work. And then when we come upon these intense times where divine is just trying to get us to transform and move forward to the things that are going to bring those very things we desire, it seems impossible. It seems like a mountain we can't climb. And that's when we just stop. We allow our fear to win. Don't allow your fear to win this week. Don't allow it. Because you have so many beautiful things on the horizon. And you're so close. You're so close. Like, if you can really grasp this week and just dive on in. Dive on in. Fearlessly. So you know what? I don't care. There's this country song that's, if you're going through hell, keep on going. Keep on going through it. Because the faster you get through it, the faster you're going to get to the other side. And for some of you, you don't have much longer. It literally, for some of you, you're on the cusp, and it's really going to shift in a week or two. But to do that, dive, have faith, extend the olive branch, communicate, come in balance, do these things that you're being guided to do. Feel the emotions. It's going to be emotional for everybody. For some, it's going to be emotional than others, but it's going to be emotional for everyone. But just, if you have stuff come up and you feel like you want to cry, cry. If you feel like, oh my gosh, I need to write an 18-page letter and burn that bad boy, do it. Whatever it is you feel guided to do, because there's so much where they're saying, you have got to follow your intuition. You've got to trust. Trust it. Go with it. It's going to be worth it. Okay? So I do again wish you the best. Cannot wait to hear the amazing things that are going to start coming to fruition for everyone in the next couple weeks. So I wish you an amazing week filled with lots of love, joy, and blessings.